In the sunny valley of Oaxaca, the Zapotec Indians found excellent clay pits and developed an indigenous art of pottery making. Today, perhaps the most outstanding craftsman, certainly the best known, is Dona Rosa of Coyotepec, who for most of her 70 years has devoted herself to the making of fine black pottery with the minimum of homemade implements, primarily using her hands. After preparing the clay, she pounds it into basic shape. She sets it on top of two inverted plates, which serve as a wheel, like two tops spinning to point, balanced by great practice and skill. These trained hands form an olla, or jar, used throughout Mexico for storage or water carrying. She keeps her hands moist with water to keep the clay workable, to offset the fast drying power of the Oaxaca sun. More water is added as the rim is fashioned. At the right moment, after drying in the sun, she scrapes the surface smooth with a piece of wood, then a piece of shell. Rubbing brings the fine grain of clay to the surface, and the more coarse material goes down into it. Just as the mason floats his wet trowel on a cement finish, so Rosa uses her hands. After further sun drying, with a bit of stone, she burnishes geometric patterns onto the olla, resulting in a polished black against a dull background. Then it is left out for the sun to temper. Rosa's son carries on in the family tradition. His work at the moment is the making of a fish. He pats the clay into a flat slab. Then he folds it into a hollow fish shape. The fins are set into place at the right moment when they will best adhere and not crack in the firing. Now the whole body is smoothed with a shell. With a stick, he marks the fins, then the mouth. All tools are fashioned for the purpose from materials at hand. With a reed, he skillfully imprints the scales. The pottery is burned in a pit dug into the ground. The ware is placed on a grate at the bottom of the pit, which separates it from the fire. Loading is done with the utmost care, for the heat and the smoke must circulate evenly around and through the pieces. The firing is a continuation of the tempering process of the sun. Just as clay is formed by the disintegration of rock, so here it is made once again rock-like. The smoke containing particles of carbon makes the clay black. The clay becomes permeated with the carbon. Broken pieces are used to protect the ware from too sudden heat. From an adjacent pit, a fire is lighted beneath the grate. Other potters in the community bring their work to Dona Rosa for firing. Her supervision holds breakage and imperfections to a minimum. This is the work of Dona Rosa, master potter of Coyotepec.